The conversation continues on Houston's Morning News with Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 5:47.
ASPIRE provides a framework to recognize excellence in our practices and avenues for both students and HISD employees to perform at higher levels.
Okay, so 92% of teachers are going to get this ASPIRE bonus, even though HISD has 12 schools rated academically unacceptable and 47 rated just a tick above that. Joining us right now is Holly Eaton. She's with the Texas Classroom Teachers Association. Holly, welcome to Houston's Morning News.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on with us this morning. Holly, I'm baffled. First of all, a bonus structure providing bonuses to 92% of the teachers. I mean, is that really a bonus? I mean, it sounds to me like everybody's just kind of getting a little raise. And how do you justify that when you've got 12 schools rated academically unacceptable and 47 rated just a tick above that?
Well, I think it's a perfect example of what happened really nationwide with these performance pay schemes that were some of the first early reforms, education reforms aimed at improving teacher quality. And what we've seen in Houston, which was an early adopter of that kind of reform, and in other places, is it's an idea that was largely borrowed from the private sector, and it just isn't translating very well in the education arena. And as the example in Houston shows, they haven't figured out how to do it in such a way that it's going to achieve its intended results.
Well, we defunded this ASPIRE program in the Texas legislature, and then Obama comes back in, and because he's got the teachers unions, that he must placate, he puts this money back in. And teachers, if I understand correctly, aren't even sure how they qualify for this. And you got one teacher getting $25, another one getting $7,000. My understanding is there's a lot of infighting among teachers.
There really is, and I think part of that comes from not being at the table necessarily when these ideas were first hatched. And as I said, it just doesn't translate well in the education arena when you have live little children that are the ones that are taking these tests that are the main determinant of whether a teacher gets the money or not. And in Houston, they have a very complex statistical formula that spits out a number, and it's no wonder that the teachers don't understand it.
All right, Holly Eaton, Texas Classroom Teachers Association, joining us. Holly, hang on. I want to come back and ask if we could have done something different with that money, say keep a few of the teachers that we lost. KTRH News Time is 5:53. Holly Eaton with the Texas Classroom Teachers Association joining us this morning. We're talking about the ASPIRE bonuses that are being passed out to teachers. 92% of the teachers in HISD are going to be getting these bonuses. And Holly, I think you and I agree on this. This is a ridiculous way to spend money. It is simply to placate the teachers' unions. There's no question about that in my mind. As the district prepares for that $348 million in budget cuts from the state of Texas, HISD is giving close to $1.8 million more in bonuses this year than last year. Couldn't some of that money have been used to keep teachers that were let go?
Well, you do kind of question why a district or a state would continue to pour money into a program that's frankly not supported by the research, controversial among the teachers and the public, as you mentioned, when there are these kind of severe budget cuts. And, when it comes to the largely increased student enrollment that we have in this state, there's no doubt that they're going to need a teacher in front of them. So it is questionable that the focus of some of these school districts has been to continue to walk down this path of questionable validity for bonuses such as the type that Houston is doing.
And again, 92% of the teachers getting these bonuses. I don't begrudge people getting a little more money, but I will get people on this show whining and complaining about the fact that the legislature cut the budget. They want to go back. They want to sue the state of Texas. They want all the money back, and yet they turn around and give $42 million in bonuses out to teachers. It is insanity, Holly. Absolute insanity. And this is the reason why people, when they hear these kinds of things, rail against the teachers' unions. It's why I rail against the teachers' unions.
Well, I think that the idea of performance pay is something that really was pushed more by the private sector and the business community as something that is more common in that sector. And, I will say that for the Texas Classroom Teachers Association, our part, we have never been a fan of performance pay. We're not in support of paying teachers based on student test scores because of the fact that you get into these kinds of thorny issues where, the teachers may not want certain kids in their classes, where the research shows it doesn't necessarily support increasing student achievement, and it ends up using a lot of funds for a program of really questionable values.
No question about it. Holly, I appreciate your time early this morning. Holly Eaton, the Texas Classroom Teachers Association. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you very much.